Having been a familiar brand on the high street for more than 30 years now, and Pret's always looking for ways to innovate, and Veggie Pret just really started with the seed of an idea. But why? Well, the first thing was that we'd seen vegetarians and vegans asking for more interesting food. They were a bit sick of our egg mayo sandwich and our hummus wrap. The second thing, and as you've just heard, we were seeing this underlying movement into healthier food of all different types. The third thing was an increasing interest in sustainability, particularly plant-based diets. I think it's well known, and probably by many of you in the room, that we cannot feed the population that's going to be growing the continual animal protein that they want to eat. And Pret decided it needed to take a stance around reducing meat consumption with its customers. And the last thing was to make our veggie and vegan food great. Really, it had always been a little bit second fiddle to our meat-based food. I think most of you in the room that work in food will know that developing vegetarian and vegan food does tend to be harder than meat-based food. So our approach to this gave some insights that you don't have to be vegetarian to enjoy delicious vegetarian food. Our idea was that we'd run a campaign, not just for veggies. This would be around naturally delicious recipes that could be for veggies, vegans, or even meat eaters. And our approach was to start conversations with our customers. The reason we wanted to do this is we knew this was a bit of a risk. Meat products outsold vegetarian products by 5 to 1 in a Pret shop, so we knew we needed to ask customers what they thought of this idea. So what did we do? Well, the first thing we did was look to the food. Pret runs a catalogue of over 150 different recipes. We knew that we needed to make the vegetarian ones much better. Our food team did innovation trips across the UK, Berlin, and LA, and they immersed themselves back in the kitchen looking at new ingredients. The second thing we did is we chose to ensure that there was no commercial risk to the project. We have a catalogue of what we call chef specials, which are our monthly recipes that change. We decided to make these vegetarian every month for the next 12 months. This way, we wouldn't be giving any extra space really into vegetarian food, so our meat customers wouldn't be upset. We also engaged our customers in what they thought of the idea with these big green stickers asking them if we'd hit the spot or lost the plot. The next thing we did was launch a national campaign. So this was almost 2 years ago we did this, and we had this headline image of the world's biggest carnivore eating a piece of kale. We used digital to drive awareness. At the time, this was one of our most interacted with campaigns, and we reached over 1 million people with this campaign. What we ensured that was regardless what channel you looked at in Pret, whether it was in-store, across Twitter, Instagram, and all the other different channels that we can use, the message was consistent and clear. The vegetarian food was not just for veggies. 2 months into the campaign, we decided to open a pop-up. And many people have asked me why on earth Pret would open a pop-up. And if I'm honest, when we did it, we didn't really know. It was just an idea, and we thought it would be fun, and we decided we had £100,000 to do it. And I can honestly tell you it was a little bit done off the back of a fag packet. We decided to choose a shop in Soho. The reason for this, firstly, was that it had a really good visible shop front, it had a good inside space, and most importantly, there was a number of Pret shops all around it that we could divert customers to, and ones that were upset that they could no longer get their favourite bacon butty. So we anticipated that sales were going to decline by 30%. The response actually took us by surprise. Sales went up by 70%. And I worked there every day for the opening event, and I can only tell you it was absolute bedlam and probably one of the most terrifying moments of my whole career. Not only did we have just general public coming in to see what on earth was going on, we had suppliers coming in, we had food bloggers coming in, who literally bought one of every single item on the shelf. We couldn't keep up with the demand, and on day 1 and 2, we had to shut the shop 7 hours early as we'd run out of products. And what we've done is produced a short video just to take you through the journey. So for the pop-up, we developed over 47 new recipes, 6 new categories, and a number of new ingredients. One of the best things about Veggie Pret is we're able to work with very small-scale suppliers who could look to have much more innovative ingredients than perhaps many of our larger suppliers could because of the volumes. So as you saw, we decided to keep Veggie Pret open. The reason for that is we had so many customers asking us to stay. So, we kept it open, but then what happened? Well, we continually kept asking for more. We were asked when was coming to Manchester, when were we coming to Birmingham, when was there going to be one in West London, North London. We actually couldn't keep up with the volume of traffic that was coming through our customer services. So, what we then went on to do was develop more and more veggie food. We launched a range of veggie boxes, which have been our very first bespoke vegetarian range for us. We also opened our second Veggie Pret shop just down the road from here in Old Street. The shop had a different design, and we started to work through what Veggie Pret's own brand identity would be. We went for soft greys, highlighted by punches of green, so you'll see no burgundy, Pret's traditional colour, in the shop. We launched more food into this, including one of our top sellers, which is our vegan mac and greens, and our vegan brownie continues to be our top-selling product in both stores. Again, we used social media to drive awareness of this. The social media for this open was reached to 7 million people, unprecedented for us. And I think one of the things that surprised us more than anything about Veggie Pret is how engaged people have been in the idea. This next video I'll show you actually comes from a blogger called Plant-Based Judy, and she did this all of herself as a thank you to us for giving her something which she said just brings her joy. So if you haven't been to our second shop, it is just down the road. Do go this afternoon. So it's not just been the UK that's benefited from our veggie campaign. These pictures from all around the world. We have actually taken our veggie story into our stores in Asia and into America. Both America and Asia opened to pop up, both of them very successfully. And interestingly, our Asian market has responded really, really well to Veggie Pret. And literally last month ran a second phase of the campaign. So we then this year decided to continue our veggie story. As I said, Veggie Pret is a strategic objective for Pret to encourage its customers and its non-customers to eat less meat. So in summer this year, we launched the second phase of our campaign all around that veggie food is for everyone. We developed these images to look like Shoreditch hipsters, city bankers, to try and show that vegetarian isn't just for young female millennials, but that everybody should be decreasing their meat consumption. Having seen where we got to, we then decided we need to pause and reflect and see what we've learned. We went back to the very beginning of where the idea came from. It came from Clive's blog, our chief exec, when he asked customers, should we be selling more vegetarian food or open a pop-up? As you'll see here, the results are pretty much 50-50, but actually what the customers really wanted was to see our vegetarian food more clearly defined in the stores. So what we did this year was turn one of our fridges in about 90% of our shops green to highlight all the vegetarian food that we have. Now we have actually taken this out now because actually what we found from putting this in is actually it was very difficult for our shops to manage and re-merchandise when we ran shops this way. So what's next? Well, just 2 weeks ago, we opened our third Veggie Pret in Exmouth Market. It's the first time we've opened it as a brand new shop. The other 2 shops were conversions. And we opened probably in a pretty tough area of London. For those of you who don't know, Exmouth Market, it's full of independents. Pret is obviously seen as a very big brand coming into this area. But thankfully, I think because it was Veggie Pret, we've been pretty much welcomed with open arms. The shop is doing very well. And again, the customers continue to be very engaged by it. We've put in more new products, and we plan to have 2 product launches every year into Veggie Pret to keep the range fresh. So what's next? Well, actually, we don't know what's next. We always said with Veggie Pret we would watch and learn and see how it goes. We've now got 3 shops, so really it's starting to become its own mini sub-brand. We do have some challenges ahead, though. The shops don't trade as well as a normal Pret shop. They start high and then they tail off. Now, that's not to say they're doing badly, but they don't trade to the same level as they were when they were standard Pret shops. So that's a challenge we need to understand. And in particular, we do see decline at breakfast. The second challenge we have is around our own internal momentum and keeping people excited by the idea. It's obviously quite a revolutionary idea, and it needs plenty of positivity from all the stakeholders. And the third and probably the biggest question for us is how we, as a company, encourage the general public and our customers to eat less meat. What we've definitely seen from Veggie Pret is the young female millennials engage with the concept, but actually our standard customers, less so. So actually our strategy really is that we want our standard customers to be eating less meat, even if it's only 1 day a week. And now really we're taking a step to reflect on how we make this happen. So I thought I'd take the time, because I knew my presentation wouldn't take the full 25 minutes, just to see if there was any questions from anyone. And if not, I've saved you some time back. Thank you.